to look at is kind of continuing on the series of side control that we've been working on Thursday night. So side control. Last week we looked at the Bravo choke, which in Portuguese means angry or brutal. Very, very high leverage choke, meaning you don't have to have monster grips to be able to finish this choke. Put your body weight into it, pull the lapel, and if you do it right, most people are going to tap within 10 seconds. Okay. So real quickly, if somebody wants to help me with the details of the Bravo choke. So remember how we start this little guy out? Lapel around the neck. So this is the control, but this is not the choke yet, right? So what do I want to do now?
Straighten out the top arm.
Straighten out the top arm. Okay. So I kind of want to go here, kind of make it straight. So it's in between my legs right now, and it's straight, right? Now what do I want to do?
You want to bring them up on the side.
Bring them up here. Okay.
Grab the control with the other arm underneath.
Underneath the arm. Very good. And hand it off. And make it tight as possible, right? So we're going to make this guy really super tight. And notice I'm not putting pressure here because at this point the choke is really kind of thin. But how do I finish the choke with my chest?
Pressure right there.
Right here. And then ideally, what angle is his shoulder as I'm pushing into him here? Is the shoulder flat or is it off the ground a little bit?
Off the ground.
Off the ground a little bit, yeah. So if I'm all the way down flat like this, I can still technically finish the choke. It just means I'm not at the optimal angle. So it means my chest didn't start on the right side of the arm, or my grip's not deep enough here, okay? So ideally, I should be dropping my weight. I can even come 2-on-1 here, and just kind of press right about there. Should be where I should get the tap, okay? Are you with? Yeah. Oh, you just got really serene all of a sudden. All right. So that's the Bravo choke. We also looked at different setups to get them to react and turn towards us, because that really helps the Bravo choke. As you may remember, one of the setups that we did to kind of get them to turn towards us with their hands, get their hands out.
Bread cutter.
The bread cutter is actually a great example. What else?
Neon belly.
Neon belly, but it's so brutal. We call it the neon soul.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a little bit more brutal than the normal neon belly, which is why I give a lot of caution around doing this, okay? Because we're going to use this grip, and I'm going to grab onto the pant leg here. And then we're going to come up, and we're aiming for the soft parts. If we like our partner, which we all like our partner, we're aiming for soft parts. If we start driving our knee or shin into the sternum or the rib cage, especially the floating rib down here, you can break something or really hurt something, okay? So we're just right here on the diaphragm, just making it hard to breathe. Yeah, and so we're going to just lift a little bit here. I'm just driving and lifting. Yeah, he wants to do this. He wants to turn into me and push on this knee, okay? And that allows me to grab here, punch through, and then reach for that Bravo grip. And now I've got a good setup for finishing the Bravo choke. Now, if you guys experimented, we did like 10 minutes of up, down, and out in the class last week. And some of you found that this choke is actually really hard to get, especially if they know it's coming, right? If you get it, there's a high percentage chance you're going to finish with it. Okay? So it's worth going for it. But what do we do with someone who's just putting up good defenses? Is there anything we can transition to? One of my favorite positions, and this is not submission by itself, but it's pretty excruciating. One of my favorite positions is called the scarfold position. In Japanese, it's called the Kasa Gatame, if you hear that term. So the Bravo choke setup, when they're turned into us, but for whatever reason, we can't get like through here, we can't get to the lapel, or whatever the case might be, but we can still kind of get underneath the elbow and the head, then we can start to set up a really nice scarfold position. And I don't like attacking scarfold if they kind of know it's coming, okay? So the basic scarfold transition from here might look like me coming through here and scooping the head together like this, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm first bring my knee up. This is what we're about to practice, by the way. So I've got a good grip on the head and the arm. I'm going to bring my knee up, and I'm just going to let the transition through like a baseball slide. Everybody see that? Notice my foot is really high up here, and my legs are spread out. I'm not like this. This is a really great way to get rolled or get reversed. Okay, so my legs are spread out. I'm being nice right now because my hips are not off the ground. But you are going to be off the ground, and you're actually thinking of this as like the side, your side, driving into his side. Okay, and the pressure here is pretty enormous. There's a few things that you want to do that are the opposite of what he wants. Okay? Because there are ways out of this. So transitioning from a standpoint where we're here, notice he's kind of looking away from me. That's how we want to set up the scarf hold position. If he starts to look towards me and drop this elbow, he starts getting a lot stronger. The pressure becomes much less. This is all what he wants. Okay? So there's a few points of control that we want, really three. The first is the elbow. If we can lift on the elbow, it will also help us to get point number two, which is him looking away from us. And then point number three is heavy pressure on the head. Now, there's a couple ways to lock all these three things together. You can go right here on your thigh, or you can come behind the elbow and gable grip. Okay? It really depends on how big the guy is. This is my favorite control for big guys, like really big guys, like guys that weigh 350 pounds. Okay? The setup for scarf hold doesn't usually happen if they know it's coming. It happens in transition, which means you got to be loose enough and quick enough to see your opportunity to jump and slide into this position. Okay? So one more time for the setup. We can get to this position a number of ways, but ultimately we're looking to get here. This is the kind of basic setup. We don't want his hand here because it's too easy for him to kind of pop out unless it's like really high, like this. Okay. In which case now we're looking to first go here. I think we want mount if you do this with your move, which is a viable option as well. But I'm going to go to scarf hold. I want to get his elbow nice and high, and I'm going to just pop up and then spin around just like this. Okay. Again, I really want this elbow. Push this one. Are you surviving?
Yeah, I'm surviving.
I really want this elbow up, head up, and him looking away. Those are the three main things I want for heavy, heavy pressure. My body, my hips are really kind of shooting out at a 45-degree angle, but my foot is kind of north-south. Okay. The first way he can get out of this is what we're about to cover next, which is a reversal. But right now, let's get into this position. Let's make sure we're doing all three things. Lift the elbow, lift the head, make him look away from us. You can go here, or you can come here. I don't care. Sound good? Questions? 1, 2, 3. Now I can't really push with both hands. Okay? I want to turn towards him. Remember? He's weaker when I'm turning toward him. I'm going to grip and scoop that floating rib. I'm going to bridge up and then over. And then now I'm happy. Okay? But timing is everything. All right. Let's give some of those escapes a try. We'll start with the face push if you have an arm. Right? Pushing into a reverse triangle or arm bar. If you don't have the arm, hands come together, turn towards them, scoop that rib, bridge up, and then over the shoulder. Questions or maybe see it again?
What was the third one?
Third one. What's the
Chasing
third one?
the
Chasing the hips. Let's just focus on those two right now. Okay? 1, 2, 3. All right, so we'll go from scarf hold position from here. We're going to get this arm in front of us. That's what we prefer. We don't want it back here. This is where bad things happen for us. So we're lifting up on the elbow. Hand is in front of us right now. Our head is down. Okay? And what we're looking to do, I'm going to relax for a second. My first line of attack, if I can do it, the strongest attack from here, in my opinion, is the bent arm bar. Okay? But a lot of times you can't do the bent arm bar at first because it requires a little more flexibility and a little bit more ability to get his arm back here. Okay? This is a strong dude. This is not going to be an easy task. So a lot of times I'll get his arm like right here. And now I'm going to come over with my right leg. Okay? The leg closest to his hips. From here, I can finish a straight arm bar, but it's difficult. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's difficult to find the angle because you're doing it with your hips and your legs. This is not like a normal way to turn an arm bar. But the way we're going to do it is we're going to start to pinch our knees together and turn towards him, and then start to drive this wrist away. So he wants to tap just a little bit. I'm not going to go all the way, okay? Feeling that takes some finesse. You're welcome to try it, but ultimately getting his arm between my legs is the first step towards the bent arm bar, which is really where I want to go. So I might try it here and feel like, hey, let me just test this out. I may get it, I may not get it. Let's say I don't get it, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the end of the lever. Everybody see the end of the lever here? I'm not trying to fight his whole arm. I'm going down to the end of the lever. I'm going to bring this foot up and over the wrist. Foot closest to the head. Now, I cannot finish from here. His arm's too straight. This is a bent arm bar. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my feet together so his arm doesn't escape. I'm going to reach around. I'm going to grab that hand on the other side, and I'm going to start to bend the arm. Everybody see that? He's okay right now. There's no pressure here yet. Notice I'm keeping the head up the whole time. Compromise the spine, compromise the man. Okay? So I'm here. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to start to let go of this hand, and I'm going to go to the head now that I've got his arm nice and bent. And I'm going to lift up on the head, and I'm going to start to drive down. Everybody see the direction I'm going here? I'm going to drive down the arm. You can tap whenever you want. I'm going to go slow. Okay, so from here, I'm just pulling on the head and driving that arm down. And eventually, he's going to want it south. This is really, really strong. Okay? That's good flexible shoulders. That's good.
Thank you.
All right, so one more time. So we're here. We've got the arm in front. First order of business, I got to get this thing between my knees. Okay? So ideally, if I could do this, great. Strong guy like this is not going to let this happen. I'm going to maybe get it right here. And then I'm going to bring my right leg. This lets me adjust. If I want to pinch my knees and turn away towards his head, I can start to try and finish the straight arm bar. But at the very least, this allows me to settle, get some control as I reach down to the end of the lever, bring my wrist up. Notice I'm trying to get this arm bent. Pushing it back, keeping this gap closed here, not come over the top. I can finish from here, or I can come like this and start to drive as I lift his head. I don't want to go over the big stuff. Questions on this?
So you're bringing your left foot over to atop the knee before you try and transition the arm so you can't shoot out.
So he should just magically shoot out. He's still a really strong guy, and I'm just constantly being respectful of that. Like he could just straighten his arm, and if he does, I want to make sure he stays inside the triangle that I've got. Yeah, I'm keeping everything elevated, and I'm keeping everything locked together. I'm not down here lazy. He'll rip his arm in that in no time, then probably reverse me. So I'm up here, I'm connected. As I'm pulling that arm and bending it. So that's the bent arm bar, not a straight arm. That's good. Questions?
Can we do both of them, or do we already focusing on them?
The bent one is money. The bent one is probably one of the strongest submissions I have. As far as high leverage is concerned, again, this is a big man control. So I've got a 300-pound dude underneath me. I want things that maximize my leverage against them, right? That bent arm bar is pretty solid. Play with the straight arm bar. Guys, your own size, you might be able to get it against. I won't say it's high percentage, but play with it. Anyone else? Questions? Doing good? See, we'll try it. 1, 2, 3. Different than maybe what you've seen. I'm actually bad. I'll admit that right now. I'm actually bad at the regular arm triangle. That most people know. Professor Pete, however, is pretty darn good at it. So if you want to know the normal arm triangle, I asked him after class. This is what I'm going to show you guys. Okay? Come here. There we go. We get into a scarfo position. I've done a good job of keeping the elbow high. I'll relax here. I'll keeping the elbow high. This means I can shoot the arm triangle. Okay? So the first thing I want to do is bring my head on this side, and I want to touch noggin to noggin. We're going to do a mind meld here for a second, okay? So I'm going to go here. I'm going to bring my head down. Let's think together, okay? So that's the basic position. Now, the way I tighten this up is what's different from most arm triangles, okay? Notice hips are still out, still got a 90-degree spread on the legs. My hips are not up right now because I'm being nice to my okay here, okay? But normally I'd be elevated, okay? So we're going to get here. Boom. I'm going to bring my head down. My head touches his head. Now, right now I'm just gable grip, okay? But what I want to do to tighten this up is I'm going to straighten this arm, and now come in like this, and then I'm going to lift up here. He doesn't like that, okay? One more time, nice and slow, and this time I'm not going to go hard. So boom, here, noggin to noggin. I'm going to lift up, and I'm just trying to stretch my arm through and around. I want to soak up all the space here. Okay, I want contact along the entire arm. Lifting, going here, or even going like this. Just kind of straightening and working that contact out. And then I'm just going to lift and pull his head into his own arm. Okay? Just not a happy place. We can give that a try. Any questions? 1, 2, 3.